This is the Aronite fact sheet about hazardous substances. If you would like further information, please call us on 0207 947 9581 or visit our website at www.aronite.co.uk. Each year in the UK, ill health caused by chemicals used at work causes around 10,000 deaths. There are 8,400 new cases of contact dermatitis each year. So what is a hazardous substance? A substance that is listed and labelled as very toxic, harmful, corrosive or irritant. Each of these definitions has a symbol, as you see on the diagram. A substance that has a workplace exposure limit, a biological agent, a dust of any kind. And finally, a substance not listed above, but due to its chemical or toxic nature, creates a risk to health. The pyramid shows the different effects caused by hazardous substances. At the top we have the acute effects, which cause immediate and short-term health problems. Below that we have the chronic effects, which cause long-term ill health, which may not be seen on a day-to-day basis. And finally, there are substances which create no health effect at all. The COSH risk assessment process. Firstly, we have to assess the health risk. Then decide on the control measures, decide on ways to prevent or control the exposure. Then we need to make sure that we use, maintain and monitor control measures, monitor exposure in the workplace if appropriate, plan to deal with accidents, and finally, and probably most importantly, to provide information, instruction and training to those exposed to the substances. And the whole process should be reviewed if there are any changes. In deciding on the risk control measures, a hierarchy must be followed. The first resort must always be to try and remove the substance if it is not required. If this cannot be done, a substitute of a safer alternative must be considered. For example, water-based products instead of solvent-based products. Then you need to consider containing the substance, and finally, consider the use of personal protective equipment, which should always be the last resort. In summary, there are 5 simple steps for managing the risk. Step 1. Make a list or inventory of all the substances you use that you think may be hazardous. Labelling is a good guide. Step 2. List the quantities of each substance and where it is used. Thirdly, obtain the manufacturer's safety data sheet for each of the substances. Most of these can be found on manufacturers' websites. Step 4. Look at the guidance on use in the data sheets and use the information to carry out a risk assessment of how the substances are used in your workplace. And finally, Step 5. Ensure that the risk control measures identified in your risk assessment are implemented. Should you require further information about these fact sheets, please contact Aronite online or by phone.